So today is the 21st of June, 2022. Thanks for tuning in to my official YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel, like my official YouTube videos. Yes, that's a double corset right there, just so you know. There's two different corsets on. I wanted to make sure that was known. Make sure, go to my website, www.susanmeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com. So, kind of figured, this is, I had yesterday uploaded a video I had created to my official YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel. Like my official YouTube videos, and if you're gonna leave a comment, make sure to have etiquette and respect. Okay? So, this particular official YouTube video of mine, go to my website, www.susanmeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com, and go check out my journal blog, The Ornery PSA. So on the 20th of June, 2022, I had decided, those who grew up a certain way, they know if you want something to cry about, let me give you something to cry about, okay? And so I had a bunch of people over the years, mainly from like 1998 through 2012, that had claimed, mainly in the civilian sector, they had claimed that I had been mean. My words were mean. And this is irony when you think about what's supposed to be considered the adult consenting lifestyle. Because they knew I'm a dominant. They knew I'm a leather dominant, no less. Not any other type, and there are many types of dominance, however, I'm a leather dominant. And I had told people in more specific aspects as to the years of 2009 through 2012, that I was born and raised in New Jersey, and I grew up going to New York City and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, so I have some knowledge regarding. Now, I haven't hidden that I was in the state of Washington, and I had volunteered at Club Sapphire. I had assisted with a few things. And in any area at all, a swingers club, which yes, they have some BDSM aspects during the time frame of later on regarding Sunday. I don't know if they still do that. It's been a while since I looked at their website as to what was going on. Now, mind you, I had dealt with a few things as far as a few different types of people, and in this particular situation, this is a really good example, okay? So there was this sexist machismo male who had walked up to the front office area. I was speaking with the office staff, mainly one particular female at the time, and I was checking to see if she needed anything because I was gonna go do a security walk. Instead, this sexist machismo male walks up with this female that's with him. And I don't know if it's his wife or girlfriend, whatever, she's a biological female regarding that. And this sexist, again, remember those who knew me in person, face-to-face in person, specifically in the years of 2009 through 2012, whether in regards of online social media and or in person, face-to-face in person, let me clarify myself. Or let me go to the 1990 song of Let Me Clear My Throat, because, it goes into this. So this sexist, machismo, feminazi male walks up to the other side of the counter, and he's got his biological female with him, and I'm standing inside the office, and I'm checking on the female at the, computer. I'm like, hey, you need anything? You need me to go get anything? I'm gonna go, whatever. This guy goes, hi, how may I help you? And so I guess I can make a joke in that reference, right? And so this sexist machismo brunette male standing with I don't know what was going on regarding that particular relationship, curly-haired brunette female, who was a few inches shorter than him. And he's all, so where'd you learn how to dance? So internally, I see him doing this. So, where'd you learn how to dance? So internally, my thoughts are, I know this motherfucker is not about to fucking try to fucking do this stupid ass shit right now. I'm literally about to do a security fucking walk, and I have this little bitch ass motherfucker just walk up to this motherfucking counter like he's some fucking whatever stupid ass punk little bitch. That's my internal thoughts. Instead, my words were, well, I was born and raised in New Jersey, and before I could say anything else, this guy, now internally are my thoughts as to the perception of this guy while he says, well, she's from New Jersey. When he pushes the female forward. The sexist male just is like, she's from New Jersey, too. My internal thoughts are, what the fuck is this punk bitch doing that he's actually dumb enough to fucking put his hands on a motherfucking female to push her fucking forward after he has the fucking balls to think that he can fucking step to me? I'm about to, well, there's a term called CBT. And so I'm about to, but it's that's internal thought. Just gonna keep my No, I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be so cool. I'm gonna be like, you won't even know what my internal thoughts are at this moment, okay? And yes, I've done an official YouTube video on this before, but I didn't really go into like my internal thoughts in comparison. So make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel. Like my official YouTube videos, share the link to my official YouTube channel videos. And if you're gonna leave a comment, make sure to have etiquette and respect. So this little timid, I don't know what, is like, yeah, and so again, this is the way I see, yeah, I'm from New Jersey. So my internal thoughts are, this sexist, machismo, douchebag, piece of crap, freaking feminazi, dumbass motherfucker actually is, no, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna be so just, and so he goes and says, she's from New Jersey and she learned how to dance in New Jersey. Okay, so my response is, well, I was born and raised in New Jersey, but I grew up going to New York City and the 5 boroughs, and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so this little whatever regarding, I ask her, well, what exit? And she goes, exit 193. So my internal thoughts, while the sexist, machismo, douchebag, little bitch male ran his mouth, and all I heard was womp womp, bitch, 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 womp 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 womp, bitch, 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 bitch. You know, like a different version of the Charlie Brown cartoon with the teachers talking or whatever, but instead it's this whatever. And so I mean, I heard the words ish, but you know, and there are those who understand this. So in my thoughts, I hear bitch, 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 little bitch, she's a little bitch, she's a little bitch. As this male is like, yeah, you know, she like has like whatever, and you know, some other garbage of garbledy-goop for this little bitch. And I'm just like, well, that's... So internal thoughts. I don't remember the state of New Jersey ever having a road that's longer than 100, maybe 150 miles? How many miles? Because, you know, I grew up in North New Jersey, so very rarely did, you know, any driving occur from North New Jersey all the way to South New Jersey, and then South New Jersey all the way to North New Jersey, whether on the Turnpike or the tollway or anybody who knows Route 9 as far as that's concerned. And usually my biological father and biological mother, as anybody would know, you know, we didn't usually drive on the tollway. We didn't usually drive on the Turnpike. Only tourists do that. And so, you know, that's just the facts. And so I'm just, what? And so internally I'm thinking and wondering, well, I don't even, is New Jersey even, and again, Marlborough Township, Manalapan Township, and Freehold Township, so that's North New Jersey. And so, you know, New York? Are you, I'm so confused. And so this sexist machismo male is like, I challenge you for her. These are his words. I challenge you, translating to me, I challenge you, me, to a dance off with this particular female because this sexist douchebag little bitch is so, in my opinion, such an internal lack of manhood that he would actually be such a machismo feminazi douchebag that he would actually stir up such needless drama for him to feel some sort of, I don't know if it's he wasn't sexually attracted to her, and the only way to get any form of actual sexual attraction to her was to be like, here, you know, go be dommy dom or some sort of whatever, because in comparison, you know, she's just standing there like, yeah, we could go to a dance. And so in my thoughts, I'm a feminist, by the way. So I'm a feminist. I believe that as a biological female, if you are a female and you want to discuss something, we can discuss something. If you have a biological male running your whatever in that capacity, especially in the lifestyle, it's one of those, no, I don't think so. It's one thing in regards to if you do certain things. So if you're a performer, I didn't ever have a manager. I didn't ever hire anybody to be my manager. I didn't ever ask anybody to be my manager. I didn't ever want anybody to be my manager, just for that clarification. I didn't have any need for it. I didn't have any want for it. I wanted to be in control of every aspect myself in comparison. I didn't want any of that sort of stuff because I know how that sort of stuff goes. And so this sexist machismo douchebag male who's like, here, I'm gonna challenge you to a dance-off with this. And I in my thoughts, it literally was, okay, are you, you know, and so in this moment, I literally am wondering, okay, are you that much of a douchebag? Are you that much of a pansy? Are you that lacking of any, manhood at all? Do you think that's actual chivalry? If you think that's chivalry, you're an ignoramus, and I cannot believe you are in my sight at this point in time. But I don't say that. See the difference? So many people told me in 2009 through 2012 that they thought I didn't have a filter. They really thought that. I don't know how they thought that. Just because I spoke, I didn't say the words that I actually was thinking. So for this example, and I think it was 2017, maybe 2018, this little bitch male, who's almost my height, I don't know if he has absolutely no sexual attraction to the female that he's with, that he's trying to be like, here you go, let me like little, or if he's like, he's because he could also be one of those males where it's like, no, you're really that much, no. Kind of like a male version of Anna in some way, being like, no, I saw you look at that, and I have some sort of something, and so like, I'll totally do this, and like, then you'll be like, woohoo, and then in comparison to my biological mother, this reference as to the pretender, and then, sometimes later, sort of thing. In comparison. And so, this female, so I'm a feminist, I'm not a feminazi. And so if I'm inaccurate, well then, okay, my apologies if she actually had him as a manager, I don't know. Or if in comparison it was, she herself, I mean, if you're gonna challenge someone, you're gonna do it yourself. You're good, in my opinion, I would think so. And so then my thoughts were, I know this motherfucker is not gonna fucking be such a sexist, feminazi, machismo, douchebag piece of trash that he's actually not only gonna fucking challenge me, which why the fuck would you be in a swinger club fucking challenging someone to a motherfucking dance off? What the fuck you think this is? This is fucking past the late 1980s, motherfucker. This is motherfucking 2000, either 17 or 18. You motherfucking serious? You wanna fucking step to this? Bitch, you probably most likely had some pre-choreographed little whatever. Most likely your bitch is probably gonna do some whatever, and she's gonna do a little strip tease, and she's gonna be like, yeah, and then she's gonna like surprise and be like, and then whatever, and then you're gonna like be like, oh, and then some little spinny around, little something or something, and then you'll just be like, oh, this is so not improv, but whatever, and then like, woohoo, and just hands. I'm not gonna allow this douchebag machismo piece of trash embarrass you. Internal thoughts, I'm not, no, because there's obviously the capability to tell the difference between stepping to someone and having a pre-choreographed some sort of something. For those who know, because that's not really New York City, that damn sure isn't New Jersey. That's more Pittsburgh and Philadelphia in 1980s, more towards like 1988, 1989 to the early 1990s. Again, this is like 2017 or 2018 when this occurs. This year is 2022. Okay, so I look over at the office staff person, I'm like, I'm good, go smoke a cigarette. And she's just like, yeah, you go do that. And this is when I still smoked cigarettes, by the way. And so I can't believe. And so then I see this little bitch male, and is whatever as far as, and it almost literally regarding her, it literally almost was like, oh, thank God. I really didn't want to do that. Like I really just wanted to go to Club Sapphire and have fun in comparison to this stupid douchebag piece of trash little bitch freaking being like, let's go and show her how New Jersey is. Cause pop culture what? So I go out to my car. I get my cell phone because I'm like, I can't believe this. So I look up on Google. What is the longest, Google, what is the longest road in New Jersey? I think it's like 98 miles. So in my thoughts, while sitting in my car in the parking lot of Club Sapphire, I look over, I see a sign that literally says Dick's Towing. And then because I'm, myself, here for Dick's. Well, since, this shit is stuff that happened when I was in elementary school. For Dick's. Dick's Towing. This is the Swingers Club. I have like a 5-year-old mind right now. For Dick's. Because I remember doing that as a child. It's called For Dick's. And then there at Club Sapphire, they have Dick's Towing spelled differently. It is what it is. It's a swinger club that has the sign of Dick's Towing. That's so funny. Internal thoughts. But in my car, I'm all, I can't, it's okay, so it's 98 miles. Well, that's definitely not 193 miles. And so in my thoughts, so I went from college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to second grade math. 9 or 8 compared to 1 9er tree. Well, I know from that there are tree numbers compared to 2. Don't need that college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to figure that out. Well, so I go inside, and I could easily do this. I could easily be like, and so, according to this, and blah, 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 blah. But instead, I'm like, I'm going to be a dick, but I'm going to be a grower in comparison to a shower. All right. Right now, though, right now I am a grower and a shower, just for clarifications. So, in case in regards of certain types of certain people, as to whether regarding Indiana, 1999, my childhood, regarding whatever factors of, whether whatever capacities in those particular references, oceanic or on land, whatever aspects of for that reference as well, whether in regards of Irving 2011, or even in reference to, my backyard in San Antonio in the year of 2004, or whatever, whatever, that's fine, whatever, or even in regards of my scuba diving, because, I just landed at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico and landed at the bottom of the Atlantic area of the ocean and stuff like that. You know, those types of sexist, machismo, douchebag types of males that, you know, how dare, and or females, those types of feminazis in comparison. So just so that's known. Okay. Just want that clarification. So that way you can see. Oh, say can you see? Okay, and all right. You know, and so, you know, I'm just, you know, just saying. No, that's fine. No, that's cool. No, that's cool. That's cool. People think they know how people are from New Jersey. You know, we got 4 dicks, different types. You know, we got growers, we got showers. We got growers and showers. And so, you know, I see this douchebag McDoucherson little bitch boy sitting with whatever, you know, female as far as that's concerned. You know, and I'm just like, all right, well, you know, no, that's fine. So I could have very easily been that type. I could have. And instead, I'm just, nah, you know, it's not worth my time. Nah, not worth it, not worth it. Though I'm gonna be a dick. I am, I'm still gonna be a dick. Just, you know, a small dick. I'm not gonna be a big dick. So, you know, it goes back to that official YouTube video of mine. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel, like my official YouTube videos. And if you're gonna leave a comment, make sure to have etiquette and respect. And so there's my website, www.susanmeeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydoribell.com. And so, you know, if you're gonna, maybe this is a little ornery, like my journal blog, the Ornery PSA. Okay. And so, you know, I'm just, no, that's fine. I'll just, you know, that's fine. No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I'll be cool. I will be so cool. I'm not gonna stir up any needless drama, because I'm not that type of a female biologically, though I am definitely not one of those little bitch types, just because I was born in the year of the dog. I am not a little bitch. No. I don't need to show off. As far as I don't actually like to. I'm not one of those. You know, I've been accused of being like snobby, and no, I'm not. I don't actually like showing off. I'm actually like, unless I have to, and if I have to, I really don't actually like to. It's I have a viewpoint as far as that's concerned, because, you know, there are just certain situations in comparison that, you know, when you are a certain way, you just are. And so, yeah, I earned 2nd and 3rd place in sparring and form when I was, you know, 12 years old as a green belt. Well, that was in, you know, the 1990s. This is in 2017, 2018. Time has went forward, obviously. I stopped at a blue belt because my biological father was like, no. That was after St. John Vianney, well, right before the St. John Vianney High School bus situation, actually. And so, instead, was as it was. So I walk up, and again, in regards to my official YouTube video regarding the 20th of June, 2022, so, you know, if you want to complain, well, let me give you something to complain about instead. And so I prefer not being that way, though I have this sensation I need to distinguish the difference, okay? So I go up to the DJ booth, and there is not really many people in the main area. The majority of them are in the back, for those who know Sapphire. And it's one of those, so you were going to challenge me for your, so you are such a douchebag, and this is my internal thoughts. You are such a douchebag, little bitch, pansy ass, sexist, feminazi garbage that you actually don't even have that much faith in the bitch you brought with you, that you would actually have the balls to do it when there are more people in the actual area of the club. You are so pathetic that you wait till everybody damn near has either left and or in the smoking section and or in the back. You are such a worthless piece of trash. Fully. I don't even know how she can even look at you in the face. I don't even know what she finds, because I know my biological father said the best part of a man is his dick. But you know what? I don't even know if that's even worth it to sit on, bitch. Because wow, my personal opinions, I kept my thoughts to myself. And so I walk up to the DJ booth area, and the DJ guy, he's all, "Sup, Susan?" And I'm like, "You are, because you're taller than me, but stop." And he's like, "How you do? You want me to play a song?" And no, you want to hear a funny? And he's all, "Yeah, sure." Now, mind you, he's much taller than me. I'm this many. And I said, "Do you see those people right there in that chair and table set right there? Do you see them?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Yes." Can you believe that douchebag bitch could actually have the nerve to have a challenge regarding his bitch that he's with to actually do a dance-off in Club Sapphire? A dance-off? Yeah! Ask me about New Jersey. Ask me about New Jersey. Oh no. Ask me about New Jersey. Exit 193. Bitch! Fucking little bitch! And he's just, well, I cannot believe that actually happened. Wow. Really? I can see now in 2022 if like, here, I'm gonna totally do this and whatever, and like, here's a little whatever, and make sure it's whatever, because those types. And a DJ, it's money. Money's money. I get it. So it was just, it was just money. That's fine. And so, I'm not hating. No, not on the DJ. No. On that though, and so I'm just like, really? So of all motherfucking places, and you could to me, it's one of those, really? Why would you do that? Like, what could you focus better on as to utilizing that energy? Like, if you're, let's say, in the hypothetical as to, somebody else set him up for failure. Because then there's that. And so in that, whatever, if somebody set him up and all that, well, then there's those situations, and just as much of whatever, my opinion. And so, no, that's fine. In that female way. That's fine. Yes, that's fine. No, that's fine. What could you do better with your life? I literally thought this. This isn't even mean, though this is normal for me in this regard. What could you do better with your life? The amount of energy that obviously that female is like, oh, thank God I don't actually have to do this. Like, yeah, sure, could go whatever as far as wherever else. But like, ugh, so that amount of work, of if in this hypothetical it was a choreographed dance, what could you do with that instead? Is there something that you could utilize that energy, that time, that effort, that would have you to actually do, that would actually show her off in a correct capacity in comparison to doing a dance-off challenge at a swingers club on a night that is not even anything of that capacity? What could you do better with your time as far as that in the non-dancing aspect? Because couldn't you actually, in other references, actually spend time with her out in the daytime, take her to a nice location, go spend some money and, whatever, fine, you want to go to a swinger club, whatever, I got no qualms. However, if you are really going to take her to here in the dark, in the very dimly lit areas, are you really showing her off? Are you truthfully showing her how much she actually means to you? Because if in this capacity, if she actually means that much to you, that you want to, why don't you do something that would actually do that in the capacity of? Why don't you speak with her? Here's a magic thought. Why don't you speak with her to see what it is that she would actually want to do instead? And if she told you that she didn't even want to, then there's that, as far as that's concerned. Because then that's you being a douchebag, sexist, machismo, feminazi, douchebag bitch. As far as that's concerned. My opinion. It's personal opinion. Personal opinion. Why wouldn't you just do what she prefers? Because, otherwise the viewpoint is, oh, well, she's just a little trinket to you. She's not even a human being to you. She's a little fucking trinket. That's so dehumanizing in regards of, and in what is supposed to be the consenting adult lifestyle. Why would you dehumanize a female if she's a relationship of yours to that actual level where you would rather have her in the dark in comparison to have her in the light? What is wrong with you? Does she embarrass you, or is it that you're embarrassed of her? Because if you're embarrassed of her, why are you with her if you're embarrassed of her? If you actually want to be with her in whatever capacity, I understand there are certain fetishes where, guys have whatever and, oh, yeah, everybody, whatever, in comparison. And, yep, she goes home with me in comparison. And yet, then you're also inviting certain things at that point, if you do that, unfortunately. So in my opinion, it's one of those, why don't you just actually be with her? Why don't you actually, have that? So there's a song by Rodney Atkins called Honesty. Should look up the lyrics as far as that's concerned. And so, this is why when it comes to, yes, by technicalities, I'm considered a unicorn. Because in a lot of aspects, in the BDSM, I'm a leather-dominant female, and 9 times out of 10, as to events in an overall way, I wasn't with someone in a relationship, or if I was, whether or not they were there. That's simple. I am not a professional dominatrix, though I don't have any whatever as far as, with the exception of if there's any needless drama stirred up. I don't have that same viewpoint that others have. It's just, I was born and raised in New Jersey in the 1980s and 1990s, which was just after the 1960s and 1970s. So in certain areas, in the United States of America and around the world, it's viewed differently in comparison. And in certain areas of the world, it's not looked at the way certain areas in the United States of America look at it, though that's only in certain areas. It's not the entire country. So in that reality. So in the factors of this, it's one of those, if you actually don't look at her as a trinket, don't look at her in that capacity, and you actually care about her, love her, and all that sort of stuff, there are far better ways to actually show her that in comparison to showing her off that way. And then again, there really wasn't anybody in the aspects of the dance floor. Not only that, it was dark, the lighting would have been whatever in that capacity. Could take her out into the sunlight, take her to a field or whatever, spin her around, put her in something, whatever, and that way of actually in comparison, it's my personal opinion. And then she could actually speak with people instead of in a swingers club. Yes, it's supposed to be the consenting adult lifestyle. And yet, in a swingers club, that is not the area, in my opinion, to do that. If you actually. Now, you can, if that's a thing, though it depends on your viewpoint. And so, personally, I've explained I needed to have words because of my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 when I was in basic training. I had a subarachnoid hemorrhage in the frontal lobe of my brain that lasted 8.5 years before it was fully out of the MRI view and fully out of the CAT scan view. I deal with headaches and migraines. Headaches are every day. Migraines are sporadically throughout the week. I deal with memory deficits and cognitive disorders. So there's a big difference as to that. Because I was born and raised in New Jersey in the 1980s and 1990s, I hadn't been in the area of the tri-state area since 1998. And so it wasn't ever any sort of, it wasn't undercover at all. I was blatantly honest about it. And so, yeah, I also enjoy wearing certain outfits. I already deal with how I get looked at because of my hair and my tattoos. And then if I speak and what I can talk about. And I've dealt with that. I didn't even have my hair as it is now or my tattoos when I dealt with this. This is nothing new to me. So those factors as to, everybody's been picked on at some point in time. Well, I've dealt with that for a very long time. So it's literally the only area that I can wear what outfits I actually enjoy wearing. Have discussions with people about any topic, and in comparison to, in the general vanilla areas it's known as, in comparison, it's not as big of a deal. Yes, it's a double-edged sword to a degree because of the facts that, yes, I understand it's the adult consenting lifestyle. And in order to get me involved in certain things, well, that's very different in comparison because I was born and raised in New Jersey. And I grew up going to the 5 boroughs of New York City. I grew up going to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the 1980s and 1990s. And so in 1998, in the early part of 1998, before it ever, I think it was around April of 1998, that was the last time I had been in New Jersey before the year of 2020. And so to make attempts to explain certain things, I already told people about the nightmare I had when I was in second grade. I dealt with, oh, you're just a child. Oh, you're just a child. Oh, well, after waking up from my coma after my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, oh, you had a head injury. Oh, you didn't graduate basic training. Oh, whatever in that capacity instead. And because of the knowledge, the understanding, and the comprehension of what my childhood as to where I was around, again, my biological father had been certified by the School of Bulova and was capable to fix and repair Bulova watches, Movado watches, Rolex watches, you know, the real ones, not the tourist ones, the real ones, Seiko watches, all that sort of stuff. The different types of intricate clocks that go on the wall that have, you know, the sounds that are some of them every 15 minutes, some of them every half hour, and most of them every hour. And then the grandmother clocks and the grandfather clocks, and that's just the clocks and the watches. That's not forgetting in regards of the antiques of those. Then you get into the jewelry. And so he could fix and repair pendants, earrings, rings, bracelets. He made his own wedding band that him and my biological mother have. It's a yellow gold band that's textured that looks like a belt buckle, and the cross is made out of white diamonds. The buckle looking situation, it looks similar to white gold. He created that. That's something he made in the mold himself, as to however and what capacities of. That's what my biological father could do. Well, he, in the 1980s and 1990s, as a contractor, would go out to whatever areas. Well, who gets a bunch of trinkets? Yeah, sure, there are spouses that get that for their wives, and again, it was the 1980s and 1990s, so there's the 1960s and 1970s. And then in the 1980s and 1990s, in the tri-state area, you have the yuppie area. You have all of the Wall Street sort of what have you, where it's money after money after money after money after money, and yep, and here's a bonus check, and here's this, and here's that. And so you have these different people where, in comparison to taking care of their spouse, or maybe they did take care of their spouse, but if they took care of their spouse, you know the difference between a one and only compared to a spouse with, you know, some side. And or the ones that just, no, I don't want a relationship, or whatever, here's money, money. In comparison. And so the ones where it was a one and only, you could tell the difference as to how the jewelry was. Same thing in regards of the other types. And then there, of course, were female, and spouse, it's not male or female, by the way, because it was both ways, especially in the 1980s and 1990s. Then you have the capacities of the different females who made money during that time, and their jewelry, because they bought it themselves. That would, I mean, you know, when you know what you're looking at, when you know what you're whatever in that capacity, and you have that type of money, it's a different type of money, especially in the 1980s and 1990s. And so, you know, it's just the reality as to that time frame in that area of the United States of America. It's not the same in Chicago, though it is to a degree during the time frame of the 1980s and 1990s. It's not the same, though partially. Not to that level at all. Then you have, the entire East Coast, and those factors to take in consideration. And so Hollywood has, no offense to Hollywood, Hollywood has nothing when it comes to that type of stuff, because they're spending the money on the sets, they're spending the money on all these other things in comparison to the relationship. So the money that is spent on all that sort of stuff in comparison to the relationship is exactly that. So in the East Coast area, you had people, you had the spouses where they had their one and only spouse, and whatever, as far as, and here's this piece, there's this piece, or here instead of jewelry we go on a trip, or whatever the capacities of. I don't have that luxury, though it is what it is. I haven't ever had that luxury, actually, to be honest. And so then you have the factors of, the ones that they have their main, whatever spouse or relationship of, and then they have their side pieces, and you can tell the differences. Same thing in regards to the ones that don't. And so in the references of the ones that don't have a relationship, well, here's this, here's this, here's this, because there's the biblical saying, you can't take the money with you when you go. So here's this, here's this, here's this, in comparison. And so if it is something here, awesome. If it's something here, awesome. Great. Whatever, in whichever capacities of. And so that's kind of a big difference. And so being in BDSM, what's supposed to be consenting adult lifestyle, being in the swinging community, what's supposed to be consenting adult lifestyle, the reason why, especially 2009 to 2012, that I didn't have a certain level, but did a lot of educational aspects, is literally exactly as I said. It had nothing to do with, in any hypothetical of any competition in that capacity. There wasn't ever any competition for me in the lifestyle, because I didn't ever look at the lifestyle in a competitive manner. There was nothing, similarly to my scuba diving, there wasn't anything at all that was competitive. My work when it came to my scuba diving was exactly that, my work. I had stuff to do, not just in regards to, sure, came up with the idea regarding the underwater travel system. That's a whole other situation. That has nothing to do with my actual work, though. That in-person, if you want to call it face-to-face, in-person sort of work, as far as my knowledge from my childhood. Don't have the words, don't need the words, realistically. Personally, for me, I don't need the words, because I know what I took care of. It's why, again, kind of Eminem song-ish, it's why I could walk around like nothing's bothering me, even though half you people got a fucking problem with me. Yeah, sure, I earned 26 scuba diving certifications. Yeah. And I had work to do. It wasn't ever luxury to me. I don't know what would ever be considered as luxury at all. If you consider being face-to-face, in person, again, whatever you want to call, with species that are, there are zoos, okay? And there are zookeepers and stuff like that. And even they've had certain what have yous. So, in a very different capacity, it's one of those, okay, I had to go drop down in the water, handle some stuff, and that's it. Those species are far too big for any aquarium at all that I've ever seen. It's not something like, for those who would know regarding the Corpus Christi Aquarium, and there was this little, it was a jiggy little fishy, and it tried to get my attention as it was, and and so, nonetheless, there are species in the oceanic waters that are way too big to be in an aquarium because of what, you have like the SeaWorld situations and those factors. Well, these are bigger. Some of these things that I had to go take care of and go handle. So there's a reference to lobster bisque, okay? Lobster bisque, one of them, it doesn't matter whether it's lobster or bisque, would in the San Antonio SeaWorld location, not one of them could fit into the aquarium where the killer whale was. Okay? So for a scale to size, not one stir and not one bisque could fit in that entire, and I'm talking about even the other side of this, like the entire lob or stir or bisque, not gonna fit there, too big. And it don't matter, and I'm talking the length. I'm not like, their claws would be on the other side. They'd just be like, so I took a picture of this grizzly bear at the San Antonio Zoo, and it had its paws up on the railing in reference to the little pool. That where the grizzly bear's paws were would be the equivalent of lob or stir or bisque regarding where I was. And so that's just not, that's not something that you can like easily bring to the surface. I know that I've handled situations. That's very different. That's a lot of work. I'm just saying. And that's not even googly eye, because googly eye is bigger than lob and stir and bisque combined. One tentacle. Just one of googly eye. And then there's Bobo and Toto. Yeah, no. No. And I don't know what people think of mer people as far as, I'm sure they think of like the Disney Little Mermaid. No, 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 not even close. Not even close. So, those types, as far as those needless problems, again, this goes back to those types of ignorant douchebags that are so sexist, and yet at the same time, such little bitch pansies that instead of just actually asking regarding my scuba diving, instead stir up needless drama. That doesn't show me any appreciation for my work. That shows me the complete opposite. Just because I was born and raised in New Jersey, that is not in any capacity ever going to show me that you actually care or appreciate my work. At all. So if that's the equivalent, no, that's not how that goes. Not for someone such as myself. But, those pop culture types, as to whatever assumptions of and comparison. I'm just not that type. I'm not my biological little sister. I did not grow up with that. And while I grew up around it, I saw the underbelly. Thanks, but no thanks. I've seen how that goes. I know which type as far as what I prefer. So that's my viewpoint though. And so while other people have whatever viewpoint they have, that's their interpretations in comparison. Especially now, or even at that time in 2009, I deal with headaches. I deal with migraines. I deal with cognitive disorders. I deal with memory deficits. I don't need that. That does not give me the sensation of being cared about. I literally only in regards of because I already had been in the lifestyle regarding 2004 and 2005. But my hair wasn't this. I didn't have tattoos. And so in comparison, I already had the words back then. But all right, well, let me double check, fine. As far as the Dominant Mentor program, fine, I'll double check that. But I've already done a lot of these classes in San Antonio. I've already done a lot of the work in San Antonio well before finding out about the Dominant Mentor program. All that stuff, there's really nothing that's really new in the comparison, especially to the time frame in 2004 and 2005. So there's that. And then there's and all I needed was words. That was it. So in that capacity, it's this official YouTube video of mine. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube video, like my official YouTube videos. And if you're going to leave a comment, make sure to have etiquette and respect. Go to my website, www.susanmeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydoribell.com. And if you're going to leave a comment, make sure to have etiquette and respect. And so, regards of, there is that difference. And so, in comparison. So, it's not really the same regarding the viewpoint as to the other video. If you want to cry, I'll give you something to cry about. Because this is just how I've always been. I don't really like being a dick. It's just, I know I can be. I just don't go out of my way to do so. If I can make a point without getting to that level, especially with my pain, I'd rather do it that way instead. Might be considered boring to some. Well, unless you deal with headaches every day, it's not really boring. Unless you deal with migraines each week, multiple times a week, it's not really boring. So, sure, it's 22 years now that I've been dealing with headaches and migraines. And I've made every attempt to actually take care of it correctly. So, is as it is, as far as those references. So despite what some people may have thought, I don't actually know in regards of 2015 more specifically through 2018 into 2019, I wouldn't know in the official capacity of. So, but if there was any needless drama that was stirred up the way it was in the state of Texas, in the different areas of, so in 2004 and 2005, I didn't ever have any drama. I usually stopped drama. Anytime that there was any situation, I just handled things. And then usually the irony is the people that were stopped from causing any more needless drama, then they went and tattletaled on themselves. And they tried to blame me for them doing something wrong. And then usually the people in charge were, well, why did you do it that way? Instead. And so usually they got in more trouble for what they did, as well as they got in trouble twice, because not only did they get in trouble for what they did, then they got in trouble because they tried to blame me for what their choices were of their own free will. So by the time of 2019 or 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012, there's a lot of needless drama that had occurred. And I dealt with the equivalent of that at a multitude of events. There's only one person who saw that in person, face to face in person, both in the scuba diving aspects as well as in the lifestyle aspects in 2 areas, maybe 3. I do remember him having seen it in DFW as well as Austin. He may have gone with me to an event in San Antonio, I can't remember. And he would know in regards to what I dealt with, and that was usually what I dealt with instead. So in reference to Sapphire especially, though possibly even Velvet Rope, regarding, if anybody stirred up needless drama, went and tried to claim, the name dropping, the coattail riding, whatever capacity of, if that was done, well, that was whoever's choice. Though in that capacity, it goes back to my updates in reference to my journal blog, The Ornery PSA, on my website, www.susanmeeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com. And in comparison to ever having been capable to just relax and enjoy any event, literally, there is one event out of all the years that I've been involved in the lifestyle, one that I could kind of relax. Just one. Instead. So, some people really just, it doesn't matter where they were born and raised, they really just don't like drama. I grew up with my biological little sister. Being in a house with that as a child, I didn't need any more drama after that. Going to Asher Holmes Elementary School with those individuals, I definitely didn't need any additional drama between my biological little sister and Asher Holmes Elementary School. Then you add my biological mother. No, I don't like drama. I really don't. I didn't get into a lot of shows because I was living. That's why it's one of those when people talk about pop culture, so that sounds like this, that sounds like this, that sounds like in that capacity in comparison. And that was back in the 1980s and 1990s. So, oh, you sound like my biological mother's side of the family. Oh, you sound like my biological father's side of the family. Oh, you sound like this person from this area. And then there's Old Tennant Presbyterian Church. And all those factors, because there's a congregation of over 200, 250 congregant families. Not just people, families. Yeah, no, really don't like drama. And then my biological mother was a deacon and my biological father was a trustee. I don't like drama. I don't like drama. Then there was Broadway. And then there were all the other whatever of whatever. Oh. So, I just don't like drama. It's just how it is. It's just that simple. It really is. So thanks for tuning in. Go to my official YouTube channel to subscribe, share my official YouTube videos, like my official YouTube videos, and if you're going to leave a comment, make sure to have etiquette and respect. Go to my website, www.susanmeeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com. Have a good night. Today is the 21st of June, 2022.